So our next step is using S3 for artifact upload and download. Now this actually involves looking at the script portion of our pipeline, but that will be covered in this part itself. So let's cover both of them in the single point itself. Okay, let's open our code base then. This is our Jenkins file. This is actually a Spring Boot application which actually interacts with the database, creates a user and views all the users present inside that database. So let's give you a quick walkthrough of the code base of the application. This is a form of the application which has web, dev tools and MySQL connector, only these dependencies. This is a controller of the application, user controller, which has these two APIs only exposed, the post API for user creation and the get API for fetching all the users. And there is a user service which is this one, which has these two functionalities only, create user and find all the users. It is saving the users here and it is finding the users here. The repo is a simple repository on the app user table, integer primary key, and only one functionality is there, save functionality is by default provided. Now this user DTO is the model object which is exposed in response to the API. Let me show you that. Whenever the API response is sent, you can see the user DTO is sent, not the actual model object which is app user. So this is a kind of abstraction which we created. And in coming back to the properties file, application properties, we have database URL, username and password for the database connection. This is a radial auto update which is mostly used, and showing the SQL also in the console whenever it is executed. The port number is very important to be followed as 8100. You can follow any other port, but I am following 8100. Mostly I use 8100, 8200 like this. Now I have to change the database URL depending on my database. So let's open that. This is my database. Copy this endpoint, get back to IntelliJ, change the endpoint here to that. Okay, port number is fine, database name is fine, username is this, password is this, doesn't matter, password is exposed. Actually I will be removing this database itself from the AWS later on. This is now correctly configured. Going back to Jenkins file. Now this is the actual pipeline script, entire pipeline script, which will be run inside our Jenkins server. Okay, let's get into it one by one. Now this agent any is by default uses any default agent. We are not creating any separate agent in our case. As I have already told you, I will be not going into deep detail of the agents. This is the default standard followed by the pipeline script. The pipeline is starting from here, ending it here, you can see. Now there is an environment section which is actually environment variables created inside Jenkins container. All of these are environment variables which we will be using in our case. This is the AWS access key, secret access key. These are actually configured inside the credentials portion of the Jenkins console. I will be showing that how to configure these two after this. And this is the default region. In my case it is northeast 1. This is the S3 bucket which I have created. This is a very simple step to create an S3 bucket, but still I will be showing you. This is the S3 key, means the file name by which the S3 command should save the file, means upload the file. This is the username using which SSH session will be established. This is the host at which the SSH should be done. This is actually our EC2 instance DNS. So let's copy that and modify it. Let's open this, copy the public DNS of EC2, paste that DNS here. Now I have created this environment variable for EC2 host and user because I will be using these two values at multiple places in my script. Here is one SSH connection, here is another one, here is another one. So everywhere I have to modify the EC2 user and host in case I will be changing it in future. So instead of that, modifying them at single place, and then the values will be read here on itself. So that is why environment variables are very helpful in this scenario. Okay, now proceeding it to the next thing. This is the environment variable section. This is the stages section. A pipeline has multiple stages, means it functions in multiple stages. Every stage has some specific functionality or specific role to fulfill, and we can give the name of the stage inside this block. This one is shell test, means we are checking if the shell connection or shell is working fine or not. This was some debugging step I added some time back. If you want, you can keep it or you can remove it. That is not any concern. You can keep it also. It will simply output shell is working fine in your Jenkins console. Next step is the checkout step. This is also for debugging purpose to know when this checkout is happening. And next step is the build step, where your building of the project will be done. Actually, the name of this step is you can give it any name. Even this checkout also you can give any name. For my case, for maintaining a particular flow, I have given the name like this. Here the building of artifact is being done. Building of the project is done. First, you have to in the current project you have to modify the permission for maven w command script. It should be readable. That is what we are doing here. Otherwise, this particular statement will fail in your script. So this is required to be done before actually executing this particular step. We are cleaning the maven repository, actually maven and temp artifact repository, and then packaging it, means here the actually artifact building is done, and we are simply skipping the test part. Here we are seeing the package info, means what all packages are present inside the target folder. Whatever artifact is created at this stage should be visible by this command, or the entire target folder contents will be visible by this command. Archive stage, here I have created to package this particular archive.jar file and attach a fingerprint to it. Actually, what this archive stage does is it makes that created jar available inside your Jenkins pipeline artifacts section. So it is actually directly visible from the pipeline. So for just making this jar file available in your pipeline, you can add this step. This also I have added as a debugging step. It is not actually a mandatory step, but this is actually a mandatory step in our case, uploading to S3. Here we are simply giving the output in console, uploading to S3, and we are doing the actual uploading part. This AWS command is present inside. It's run inside Jenkins container. So we have already installed the AWS CLI in Jenkins container. So this will simply upload our artifact, like that jar file, to this particular S3 bucket which we provided on the top. This is the name of the bucket. This is the file name by which it should upload. Now this provision EC2 part, here we are installing the required dependencies before actually running the application. So we have to first do the SSH connection and get the access of the terminal of that EC2. For that only we have installed the SSH agent plugin. Otherwise this line, this entire line will not have any effect. It will not work, like this particular SSH agent part. That is actually logging in using the SSH shell. We are and passing this credential from our Jenkins credential part using this key. So this is actually multi-line here doc, which we are doing here using this 3 single quotes, and inside this SH. means shell. Whatever is passed inside this sh block will be passed to the terminal of this machine, EC2 machine, which we are trying to log in here. What this part does is strict host key checking equal to no. Means as you have seen that it asks for a confirmation that are you sure you want to connect. That confirmation comes right whenever you do the SSH login. So that confirmation should not come, and that host key should be permanently added to the known host of that machine. So this line does that part, and these two lines I have done because I have realized in some cases SSH connection hangs out when it is idle for too much time. So we are making sure that it is alive after 60 seconds. Means it should give a ping to the SSH connection that connection is alive. And this part means that if the acknowledgement is not received for 5 continuous alive packets, then the connection will be dropped. And here simply the EC2 user and host we are passing, and inside this double quotes the additional commands which we need to pass to that SSH session. So we are first of all setting this part means set -e. Whenever in any command any error comes, that SSH connection should be terminated immediately. Sudo apt update get update means updating the repository packages of the system. These two are simply for some housekeeping thing. Okay, and we are checking here if the Java is installed or not, which Java actually returns the directory at which Java is installed. If it doesn't return anything, that means Java is not installed. Then this command after the or should be executed. So this is the installation script for installing Java 17 into Ubuntu. And after that we are checking the Java version, and this output will also be printed to the console. So in case if Java is installed, then which Java will not return a blank output, and this part will not be executed. So that is why an OR symbol is there. Then here we are simply deploying to EC2. Our application jar we have to pull from the S3 bucket, and we have to run that. We are again doing the SSH login from this script. Before that we are pulling the latest jar from S3. Okay, we are again doing the SSH connection here, and inside this bin bash we are passing the here doc. Here doc means a multi-line script which is considered as a document, but it is a multi-line script in the end. This comes helpful when you want to pass some complicated scripts to your SSH session. So in that case, this here doc syntax helps a lot. The syntax is not the scope of our video. We can simply follow this syntax only, that we have to pass this. This entire script is actually passed as a here doc. You just have to understand this, that from here to here this is a here doc, and this EOF is actually a delimiter which we are passing to make sure that script is starting after this line and then ending whenever the corresponding EOF is encountered. Same way it is followed here. EOF corresponding delimiter of EOF is present here. After that everything, it is a script which should be executed. So here we are pulling that jar file from S3 bucket. That is the command for this, and here deployment step actually starting. We are stopping any existing application at this particular port. This pgref command is used to grab if this particular jar has any running instances, and if it is running, then it is killing that instance here. Okay, so this two part is doing that. Now we are checking the port status, if that port is still occupied or not. So this part is doing that. Actually, the combination of these two parts. LNP is for port numbers of all the running process, and we are getting the 8100 port number. This part is getting the port 8100 port from this output. If it is not non-empty output, we are returning that port is available. Otherwise, will simply get out of this statement. From here, our application running is actually beginning. No hop is for means it should not write the output of this command to any file, but the file which we are providing. This file will be the output file for this run of this application, run of this jar. This Java jar, you already know that it is used for running a jar file. It is supplied to it. This is some additional things. This ampersand is used for running as a detached process. Means it will not wait for the prompt. It will run as a background process. Again, it will sleep for 5 seconds and begin the next thing. It is again checking if this application's corresponding instance are running or not. If it is running, then it will print this output like application is running with this process number. This returns actually the process number of the jar. So we are getting the process number here. If it is non-empty, then we are putting in the output that application is running, and we are getting out of the terminal. Otherwise, if the port is occupied, we will output this part. Or if any error occurs, we will give the output of that app.log first, and then it will give this statement in echo that process is not starting, which means our application failed to start due to some reason, and reason is present in this log. And we are getting out of that here document, and our SSH script is actually ending after this. And this is a post step, means after this all the stage execution is done, what should be done. So this is the post statement. It is actually following Groovy syntax. This is success message in case any error is happened in any of the stage, then the failure block will be executed, otherwise success block will be executed if all the stages have performed successfully. So this is the entire explanation of the script. Now we are ready to trigger our pipeline after a git push.